Welcome to the Shreveport Connection with Tommy. This video is on your SmackDown Live 205 results. And happy birthdays go to Brian Christopher, born January 10th, 1972, turned 45 years old. And one of his famous matches can be found in this link. Buff the Stuff Puff Bagwell, he was born January 10th, 1970, turned 47 years old. One of his famous matches can be found in this link. Negro Casas, born January 10th, 1960, turned 57. Don't know who he is, but you can find his link. One of his famous matches at this link. Tamina Snuka, born January 10th, 1978, turned 39. And one of her matches can be found at this link. And to round out January 10th birthdays, Louis Piccoli. January 11th birthdays. Being today is January 11th, Abdullah the Butcher. He was born 1941. Lana will be in action this coming Thursday night's NXT live event from Tampa, Florida. Yep, she's going to try to wrestle. Dave Meltzer reported in the latest issue of Wrestling Observer newsletter that Ring of Honor officials expect Kyle O'Reilly to be headed to WWE. O'Reilly lost the Ring of Honor Championship to Adam Cole at Wrestle Kingdom 11 last week. And the Ring of Honor contract expired before that show. O'Reilly's profile has been removed from Ring of Honor roster page at Ring of Honor ROHWrestling.com. It should be noted that Ray Monroe, who is also expected to be WWE bound, remains on the roster page. As you may know, Dynamite Kid Tom Billington has been in bad health for quite a while. He is currently under care at a facility due to complications from a stroke. A video made around at this link not too long ago showing Dynamite Kid in bad shape while reuniting by Skype with the original Tiger Mask. As seen in the video, they have reunited and they are together. Which you can find them together at the 10-minute 30-second mark. And also, they've got a FundMe account going on to help along with their stuff. And also, with his medical care, Dynamite Kid t-shirts are now available at this link from Pro Wrestling Tees. Along with his personal store, a percentage of all shirts will go directly to Tom to pay for his medical bills. TNA superstar Elijah Burke, the Pope. 501c3 charitable organization, the Love Alive Charity Inc., will be hosting its annual event this coming Saturday to feed the homeless, displaced, and disadvantaged in downtown Jacksonville, Florida. Donation may be made at love-alive.org. Reported yesterday, the former pro wrestler Timothy Smith, known as Rex King, and Timothy Well in WWE. They formed the team of Well Done. Well, he passed away on Monday due to complications from kidney failure at the age of 55. The GoFundMe was not for Dynamite Kid. GoFundMe is for Rex King. So far, they've raised $2,500 to help Smith's family pay for the funeral. Chris Jericho donated the entire amount and wrote, "Rex was a good guy who was always good to me. Hopefully, he has found peace and is with the Lord now." CJ, and the GoFundMe link for you. Complications of kidney failure at the age of 55. Carmellas' opponent on SmackDown revealed the name of CJ Lund is independent wrestler Thunder Kitty. So she wrestled in the past for Shimmer Wrestling and has been wrestling for 01 USA for nearly 10 years. She is competing in 01 USA's first ever Josei Tachi Women's Grand Prix tournament to crown the first ever 01 USA's Women's Champion on March the 2nd. So, she is not with WWE just for that one time. Lana praised SmackDown last night after it went off the air and offered to become Mick Foley's assistant general manager to help prove Raw. Foley replied to Lana jokingly that the Raw general manager job may be up for grabs soon, as he noted on Twitter, and it's still there, that he has been needing hip surgery but did not have health insurance. He's expected to be off TV for several months once he does undergo this operation. Atlanta WWE said, I hate to admit it, but hashtag SD Live is a great show. Maybe at Real Mick Foley should make me associate GM to make hashtag Raw better. Just saying. Well, at Real Mick Foley commented back, well, at Atlanta WWE, that hashtag Raw GM job might be up for grabs soon. Well, WWE has also hired a new announcer in the name of Vic hope I pronounce this right. Travagliante. According to PW Insider, he will be reportedly using the name of Vic Joseph. Vic has been the voice of House of Hardcore and has previously worked for the Cleveland Browns Network as well as CBS Cleveland. On the Jim Ross Report, episode number 151, legendary pro wrestling broadcaster Jim Ross talked to Kevin Kiley, formerly known as Alex Riley from WWE. During the interview, Riley talked about how he got his start in WWE working as a commentator for NXT before getting his wrestling stitch, and his incident with John Cena, which can be found at this link. Give you highlights. According to Riley, he got hooked up with WWE because his dad was roommates with Greg Gagne, who had Johnny Laurinaitis' contact information. My father knows Greg. He was college roommates with Greg Gagne at Wyoming, and he contacted Greg. Greg had John Laurinaitis' name and phone number, and I believe I sent the email sent the email, and then when I didn't hear back for a while, Greg kind of took over and said, hey, why don't you give this kid a look, and so on and so forth. Apparently, Riley turned down a job that would have paid him approximately $200,000 annually in the medical device industry. Riley claimed that he was offered a developmental deal of only $500 a week by WWE. He said he countered by asking $40,000 per year, and WWE ultimately gave him $750 or $1,000 a week. WWE offered me a deal it wasn't much. It was very, very low, and it was almost not enough to survive on. Really, I mean it. It would have been hard to eat. It was $500 a week, which I guess what it was at. Yeah, and at that point, when Wright Medical offered me the new job, you're talking about close to $200,000 annually. Riley added, I desperately wanted to be a part of WWE, so I said, look, if you can get this thing right around $40,000 annually, I'll go. I'm not going to tell you what I'm getting offered by Wright Medical, but it's a lot more that I'll give it a lot, but it's a lot more, and I'll give it all up if you can get this thing to right around $40,000. And they did. So they got me up to $1,000 per week or $750. I don't remember what it was. I packed up. I headed out. I don't regret it. It was awesome. On the subject of commentating for NXT, Riley said he enjoyed it, but the job is much harder than people think. I enjoyed it. I very much enjoyed it. I wanted to. The thing with me, I belonged in the ring. I should have been in the ring. Anybody that disagrees with that, I don't know. I think that's very foolish, but for whatever reason, I wasn't in the ring, and I had skill. I had passion for the business, a lot of passion for the business, and they gave me the opportunity to be a broadcaster, and I took it head on. That's a hard job, and I don't think people appreciate that. You know, JR, people see it on TV, and they say, You're just sitting there talking. But it's not that. I mean, the show moves fast. It's live. You're in the booth, sometimes sitting with two other people who have their own train of thought. If you haven't worked with them ever, you have no idea where they might go with it, and you have to get it all back to a certain subject that everybody's either agreeing on or there's a plan. They point to a point you're trying to make, and then all of a sudden, Vince McMahon will yell in your ear, "Hey, you're going to go this way." So it was a challenge at first, but certainly something I really enjoyed. There was nothing worse for me than sitting in the back. As for Cena, Riley admitted that he had an incident with the face that runs the place that changed his career path in professional wrestling. A-Rod said that he will get into the detail one day. I'll put it this way. There was an incident, and it certainly changed the path of my career. I don't want to discuss it right now, but I will one day for sure. I will one day. It was a tough situation at times. I guess we can leave it at that. Riley continued. And honestly, JR, I struggle with the morality of even talking about it. And I'm not into blowing up anybody else at this point. But I promise you this. I will address it one day for sure. You don't want to know? It was a tough situation. Nothing more than that. Well, more news on Goldberg. Added to another pay-per-view. As well as possible spoilers for future events. BMO Harris Bradley Center in Milwaukee is advertising Goldberg for the coming Raw Fastlane pay-per-view on Sunday, March 5th. Dave Meltzer had reported in the Wrestling Observer newsletter that Goldberg's new WWE contract included 3 pay-per-view events: the Royal Rumble, Fastlane, and WrestleMania 33. You can check out the full listing for the pay-per-view here. WWE Fastlane, a pay-per-view event. It's coming to the BMO HBC for the first time Sunday, March 5th. Witness the final pay-per-view before WrestleMania 33 with your favorite superstars in action, including Goldberg returning to Milwaukee for the first time in over a decade. U.S. Champion Roman Reigns. Universal Champion Kevin Owens. Cards having to change? Well, right now you know Chris Jericho is your U.S. Champion. Raw Women's Champion Charlotte. Tag Team Champions Sheamus and Cesaro. Enzo and Cass are advertised. Bayley and New Day. Plus many more. Tickets are only starting at $25. Former NWA World Heavyweight Champion and WWE Tag Team Champion Ron Conway was a recent guest on the Pancakes and Power Slam show, who discussed his time in WWE and wrestling at Wrestle Kingdom for New Japan Pro Wrestling. They say, here's some of the highlights from that interview. The difference in pay with title holders compared to non-title holders. Absolutely, there is a difference. When you're one of the champions, especially in a tag team, at the time we had more tag teams than what we had in 4 or 5 years. So you'd only have so many tag team matches at live events. Every live event, you're going to have the tag team title match. So if you're the tag team champions, you're going to be at the live event. They find a spot for you on TV, and generally at the pay-per-views. So pay-per-views and live events are where you make the bulk of your money, as well as being in video games and action figures. With a 30 to 40 person roster, you can't have anyone that's at television every week at all live events. So it was definitely a boost based on where you're at on the card, and the importance of your matches. Why it's important being a top guy? Ultimately, the people that make the most money are the ones that are obviously the ones that people came to see. Right now, you've got your John Cena. I believe that if you took John Cena and Brock Lesnar and put them all at one mall and put the rest of the roster at the other mall, and you had an autograph signing, more people will go to see John Cena and Brock Lesnar than the rest of them combined, because they've been on TV for a longer period of time. That's not counting Undertaker and guys who've been on TV for a long time, but I mean ultimately the guys in the positions that WWE know are drawing the money. They have a better understanding of why they're making what they're making. They're all superstars. but they are guys that obviously sell more merchandise and put more butts in seats. And that's what everyone wants to try and accomplish. When you put the name on the marquee, you know people are going to buy tickets as well as your pay-per-views. Well, the comments on why Raw Resistance split when they were a tag team. We were getting booed out of the building. We were getting more heat than anybody in the company the whole time we were there. The heat never stopped. We could be doing it, and we could still be doing it, and we still get booed. They're never going to cheer guys that look like we did. We specifically don't want to get cheered, so we're going to let the other guys do the cooler moves, and we're going to cheat. What happened was WWE had brought in Muhammad Hassan and had him portray a character, an Arab character, and they wanted his character to get all the anti-American, the USA chant, and get that heat. What happened was, because we were more established characters, we would go out in match 5 and get booed out of the building, and the fans chant USA. And then he would go on semi-main event, and the people had already chanted USA for 20 minutes. So it was harder for WWE Creative to get that reaction they wanted. So in turn, they could have just moved us to SmackDown, but they decided it was time for us to kind of get our own singles careers. We never lost our heat. They wanted it to go to him. And your trailer for upcoming movie with The Rock, Baywatch. Deadline reports that Universal Studios has greenlighted a movie called The Pact from Point Grey Pictures. The movie will be released on April 20th, 2018, headlining John Cena, Leslie Mann, and Ike Barinholtz in the starring roles. The movie, which was first announced last November and marks the directorial debut of Pitch Perfect writer Kay Cannon, focusing on 3 parents who discover their daughter's pact to lose their virginity at the prom. Parents launch a covert one-night operation to stop the teens. The movie was written by brothers Brian and Jim Kehoe, Hurwitz and Schlossberg, and Eben Russell. Deadline noted that Cena was represented by ICM Partners, a talent and literary agency based in Los Angeles. No word yet on when the movie will begin filming, but it looks like it will bring more time off for John Cena. WWE officials just decided a few weeks back on having New Orleans being the host city for WrestleMania 32 in 2018. Dave Meltzer noted on Wrestling Observer Radio that 15 cities were in the running, including Philadelphia and perhaps St. Louis. The Undertaker and other top WWE superstars appeared at WrestleMania 34 press release. I didn't get the pictures of that or anything, but they were at the press release. Undertaker and top superstars appeared at the WrestleMania 34 press release event for New Orleans city officials, when they really wanted WrestleMania back in the city as they prepared to celebrate the 300th year. NOLA city officials reportedly pitched to WWE that WrestleMania would be featured as part of their tricentennial celebration, and that was enough to sell WWE officials on the idea. Other cities were being considered, but none could offer what NOLA was offering, with a tricentennial celebration. 300 years. Well, Stephanie McMahon tweeted, excited to be returning to New Orleans next year for hashtag WrestleMania 34 as a part of hashtag NOLA's tricentennial celebration. And SmackDown dark match prior to SmackDown had tag team match, Heath Slater and Rhino defeating the Usos from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. SmackDown opened up with a look back at last week's show. Live from Baton Rouge, we get starting off with Mauro Ranallo, JBL, David the Tongue, and Tom Phillips. We go to the ring. Out comes new Intercontinental Champion Dean Ambrose, as Greg Hamilton does introduction. Ambrose welcomes us to the first Ambrose Asylum of 2017. Ambrose announces himself for the 30-man Royal Rumble main event, which you can see at this link. Then Ambrose introduces his guest, and out comes Miz with Maurice. Miz says Ambrose taints the title every day he holds it. Miz announces also himself for the Rumble. Miz threatens legal action due to last week's outside interference and gives Ambrose the chance to do the right thing. Hand over the title. The segment looks to end with the Miz blindsiding Ambrose and beating him down after Ambrose presented Maurice with a Miz participation award. Maurice goes for a low blow, and it backfires as she hits Ambrose. Ambrose nails dirty deeds on Miz. Ambrose gives her the award and walks off as his music hits. Still to come segment. Cena versus Baron Corbin. Also, the Wyatt family gets their rematch. Announcers lead us to a video on Nikki Bella versus Natalya. Nikki is walking through the back when Natalya attacks her and leaves her laying. Back to commercial. Nikki versus Natalya can be seen in this link. Back from the break, out comes Natalya to the ring. Nikki's music hits as she finally makes her way to the ring. Nikki immediately attacks Natalya and they brawl. Natalya goes to the floor for a breather. Nikki tackles her on the ramp. They continue to brawl at ringside as the referees warns them. Natalya brings Nikki back in the ring, and nails a big boot for a 2 count. Nikki turns it around as the brawl continues. More referees are out. They keep breaking through the wall of referees to attack each other. Natalya takes out the injured knee and works it over. Natalya puts her in a sharpshooter on the floor to end it. Dasha Fentez backstage with Dolph Ziggler. We see him attacking Kalisto and brawling with Apollo Crews from last week. Ziggler versus Kalisto will happen tonight. Dasha asks for an explanation on his exits from last week. Ziggler walks off as we go to commercial. Well, Ziggler versus Kalisto can be seen at this link. Back from the breakout, first comes Kalisto. Dolph Ziggler was out next. Bell rings and Kalisto strikes first. Kalisto unloads on and Ziggler regroups. Go back and forth on the mat. Go to commercial with Ziggler standing tall after sending Kalisto to the floor. Back from a commercial break, Ziggler keeps control of Kalisto. Kalisto fights back but eats a boot to the gut. Kalisto with another kick and a scissors takedown. Kalisto catches a super kick and rolls Ziggler up for a 2 count. Ziggler nails a drop kick for a 2 count. Kalisto rolls him right back over with a crucifix for the pinfall. Winner of the match, Kalisto. And we get another stare down, Ziggler. After bell, Kalisto goes for to celebrate, but Ziggler floors him and leaves him laying. Ziggler strikes again and brings a steel chair back in the ring. And Ziggler nails a chair shot over the back. Ziggler with another chair shot. Apollo Crews meets Ziggler at ringside and stops him from leaving. They fight in the ring, but Ziggler takes control and nails Crews with a chair as Ziggler nails another chair shot to Crews. Kalisto goes to get up, but Ziggler whacks him again. Then Ziggler leaves. Chad Gable and Jason Jordan backstage warming up as Dasha Fentez asked them about facing Wyatt family tonight, and they're confident about retaining. Back from commercial break, John Cena cuts a fiery backstage promo on the new era and tonight's match with Baron Corbin. Cut to the Wyatt family. They're here. Well, Randy Orton says they're here. In that segment. SmackDown Tag Team Title match, Wyatt family versus American Alpha can be found in this link. We go to the ring. Out comes Randy Orton, Luke Harper, and Bray Wyatt. SmackDown Tag Team Champions are out next as we go to commercial. Match is already underway after the commercial break. American Alpha take control early on after a bit of chaos. Jason works Bray Wyatt over in the corner and slams him for a 2 count. Jordan dominates Wyatt until Orton comes back in. More back and forth between the two teams. Gable and Wyatt collide and Wyatt covers for a 2 count. Orton comes in to keep up the attack on Gable. Orton sends Gable to the floor and uses the barrier. Orton brings it back in and covers for a 2 count. Orton starts stomping on Gable with the garbage stomp. Wyatt comes back in and keeps control of Gable. Wyatt with a backbreaker into a pin attempt for a 2 count. Wyatt keeps Gable grounded. Orton with more offense and another 2 count of Gable. Jordan finally gets a tag. He unloads on Wyatt and tosses him with a suplex. Orton also takes a suplex. Jordan with spears in the corner for each man. Jordan with a 2 count on Wyatt. Jordan goes to the top. Luke Harper distracts him, allowing Wyatt to nail a lariat. Orton drops Jordan over the top rope, sending him to the floor. We go to commercial with Orton standing tall. Back for the break, and Wyatt's are in control. Wyatt with a 2 count on Jordan. Wyatt with a senton splash for another 2 count. Gable finally gets a hot tag to unload on Orton. Gable fights both opponents and nails a German suplex on Orton for a 2 as Wyatt breaks up the pinfall. Pulls him out of the ring. Wyatt blocks Jordan, sends him to the floor. Gable dumps Wyatt to the floor. Gable with a forearm and a top rope clothesline on Orton for a close 2 count. Harper ends up trying to get involved, but Orton knocks him off the apron. Orton with a second rope JP DDT on Orton, on Gable. Orton ready for RKO, but Harper distracts the referee from the apron. Orton turns his attention to Harper, and they lock eyes. Gable runs Orton into Harper, knocking Harper to the floor, rolls him up for the win. After the match, American Alpha celebrate and leave with their titles as their attention between Harper and Orton. They argue. Harper shoves first, but Orton shoves him back. Bray gets in the middle of them. Orton goes after Harper, but Harper delivers a super kick that actually nailed Bray. They face off again, but Bray gets in the middle of them again. Bray leaves as Orton and Harper look on. Harper leaves next. Orton still stays in the ring. Heads to the back last. We get a video warning from Baron Corbin as he prepares to face John Cena tonight. Back for the break, we get a look at today at WrestleMania 34 announcement from New Orleans from yesterday. Becky Lynch is backstage showing Daniel Bryan what happened with SmackDown's Women's Champion Alexa Bliss and La Luchadora last week. Bliss walked in and tells Bryan not to fall for Becky's latest attempt at getting another title shot. Bliss says she was trying to figure out who La Luchadora is last week. Bryan ended up announcing Becky versus Bliss in a steel cage match for next week for SmackDown on the line. Next, we got Carmella versus CJ Lunn. Hey, this link. Carmella ended up getting a win over a local enhancement talent thanks to an assist from James Ellsworth, who basically should have got thrown out or disqualification, interfering in the match, tripped the girl up, who was in her corner at ringside. But instead, Carmella got the win. After the match, Carmella and Ellsworth celebrate together. We get more Rumble hype from announcers. Back from the break, Carmella is with James Ellsworth. He thinks he's getting a kiss, but she has a stopping triple plan for next week. A shopping trip plan for next week. Baron Corbin backstage with a promo on how tonight he will be the end of days for Cena. Champion AJ Styles walks up. He says, tonight is Corbin's night. AJ's music hits as he heads to the ring. Join announcers on commentary. Cena versus Baron Corbin. Can be seen at this link. WWE Champion makes his way out as we go to commercial. Back from the break, Noam Dar plugs 205 Live. Back to the ring. Out comes Baron Corbin. John Cena was out next to a pop. They saw start the match, but Corbin strikes first with a big boot. Corbin works over Cena and taunts AJ. Corbin tosses Cena out to the floor and stands tall as we go to a commercial break. Back from the break, Cena is trying to power up, but he collapses, and Corbin goes back to work on him. Cena fights back on the floor, but Corbin nails him with a bunch of elbows against the barrier. Corbin brings Cena back in the ring, but wastes time by talking trash to AJ. Corbin enters the ring, but Cena dumps him back to the floor. Cena jumps off the apron and ducks Corbin. Corbin fights back and charges, but Cena moves, and Corbin crashes into the steel steps. Corbin turns back around and hits a big power slam for a 2 count. Cena makes a comeback, but Corbin catches him in deep 6 for another 2 count. Corbin talks some trash and Cena fights back. Corbin catches him in a bear hug. Cena makes a comeback, hits tornado DDT out of the corner. Cena keeps control, hits the 5-knuckle shuffle. Some Twitter fans are saying 5 moves of doom. And nails the attitude adjustment for the win. After the match, Cena's music hits as he stands tall as AJ stands up at the announce table. Cena and AJ taunting each other as SmackDown goes off the air. 205 opens up with a video package highlighting the saga between Cedric Alexander, Noam Dar, and Alicia Fox. Competitors make their entrance. Dar comes armed with a microphone. He says the ladies in attendance know why he's called the Scottish Supernova. And after he beats Alexander, he might just show Fox. Well, Noam Dar versus Cedric Alexander. Alexander refuses the handshake. Immediately corners Dar. Lots of gusto behind Alexander's strike tonight. Absolutely huge uppercut on the outside. Back in the ring, Cedric delivers a drop kick for a 2 count. Alexander goes for a handspring attack, but Dar meets him at the rope for a shot, takes control of the match. Dar works over the arms of Alexander and goes into ground pound. Sunset flip into a cover and a kick out. Dar with a stiff shot to retaliate from earlier, and another near fall. Straight jacket locked in on Cedric as Fox gets the crowd back in it. Dar shuts it down and slows it down. Alexander counters into a straight jacket of his own, but another reversal and arm attack for Dar. Snapmare and a seated back elbow from Dar. Fox pounding on the apron again, unsuccessfully aiding her bow back into the match. Dar continues to work the arm, but Alexander slips out. Cedric up top goes for the high-flying clothesline, but gets caught in an arm bar. Dar takes Alexander over the ring post and slings his arm onto the stairs. Dar traps Alexander's arm, goes to crush it. Fox steps in the way. Alexander is able to hop back in the ring and hit a drop kick to the outside. Springboard clothesline hits the spot at this time. Pulls Dar up for a lumbar check, but it's blocked. Handspring kick delivers this time. Cover for a 2 count. Dar rolls up Alexander with a handful of chunks, but a kick out. Alexander heads up top, but Dar pushes him into the ring post for a crash landing. Alexander goes for a moonsault. Alicia pulls Dar out of the way for some reason, and Dar hits a running kick for the pin and the victory. And the saga continues. After the match, Dar celebrates, and the kiss is met with a slap. Fox inching back to Crazy Fox territory. Promo for Rich Swann versus Tony Nese for later. Video package for Akira Tozawa with comments from Kalisto and highlights from CWC. He's announced as coming soon. A look back at Brian Kendrick getting sprayed with Tajiri's green mist from last week. Kendrick called Tajiri a sneaky snake and a snaky sneak. Kendrick talked a bit about his opponent, Sean Maluda. Says if Tajiri can beat him, he can't last 30 seconds with him. Well, the match went a lot longer than 30 seconds. Match starts. Maluda is getting early shots, and Kendrick resets the game plan. Crucifix will roll up from Maluda for a near fall. The Samoan Dragon going toe-to-toe with the veteran. Somersault dive from the apron, taking out Kendrick. Diving headbutt from Maluda, which never feels good against the Samoans. Kendrick with a wily moves to get back in it and cinches in a Cobra Clutch. Crowd gets Maluda back in it, but short-lived. Maluda sends Kendrick a glare, ducks a shot, and hits a sweet DDT. Maluda misses Rolling Thunder, hits a kick as Kendrick charges. Maluda gets two of three amigos and hits a core buster. Maluda goes up top. Kendrick sets the knees up for the frog splash. Transitions into the Captain Hook. Maluda has no choice but to tap out. But, nice appearance. Backstage with Cedric and Alicia. Cedric bids Alicia adieu, saying goodbye. And Alicia's transformation into Crazy Fox is complete. Again, when she goes into it backstage. Jack Gallagher made his grand entrance as he acknowledges the crowd deserved to the nines. DeVary looked dapper as well as the parlay gets underway. Gallagher says this little scuffle between them needs to end, but then gets silent. DeVary chimes in and says he's not a gentleman. He's not here to squash guys like Jack, and says he should be here to surrender. Jack says there wasn't a guarantee that this would end quietly. Gallagher offers an I forfeit match and has a contract to be signed. DeVary says it will be his pleasure. Gallagher takes off some of his outer layer clothes, three-piece suit. Hopes the Queen isn't watching. Takes out DeVary after William the Umbrella is tossed away. As the bear grabbed the umbrella, tossed it away, officials come out to break up to end that segment. Rich Swann versus Tony Nese. Champ sporting a new jacket as he dances to the ring. Supremely competent premier athlete out to a decent reaction. Begrudging handshake, and we're underway. Nese showing his power with the tight waist lock, but Swann fights back. Lengthy athletic whip exchange ended with a drop kick that sends Nese outside. Swann joined him, looked to whip Nese to the barricade. Nese caught Swann and tossed him midsection first and onto the top of the barricade. Back in the ring with body scissors applied to Swann. Then switches to a chin lock. Swann fights out, goes for a corner attack, but Nese sets him up on the top turnbuckle. Big knee actually pops Swann up onto Nese's shoulders, leading to a gutbuster. Huge whip and turnbuckle bump by the champ as Nese gloats. Corner attack reversed once again. Big shots to the face of Nese and from Swann. Champ goes for a whip, but tripped up by Nese. Springboard by Swann. Nese on the top, jumping Rana by Swann for a near fall. Swann looks for a tiger bomb, but gets reversed. Nese goes on an impressive sequence of matrix strikes and double stomps. Swann out at 2 count. There's a tiger bomb, and Nese kicks out. Finally, some noise from the crowd as they urge the champion on. Swann chops Nese down just to build him back up for the Swan song and the win. After the match, Swann takes the mic and calls Neville a gargoyle. He says he's still the champ, and 205 Live is still his show. Neville comes out and says contrary opinions to the champ. Swann continues to pick on Neville to actual boos. Neville wants a shot at the Cruiserweight title. Swann says, name the time and the place, but when or wherever it is, Neville can't handle this. Neville challenges for the title to take place at the Royal Rumble to end 205. Dolph Ziggler appeared on Talking Smack to close the show and end his interview. Ziggler threw his name in consideration for the Royal Rumble match, and Shane agreed, as he was also hosting instead of Daniel Bryan and Renee Young. After SmackDown went off the air, WWE Intercontinental Champion Dean Ambrose defended his title against The Miz. Maurice got ejected for the match after interfering, and Ambrose defeated Miz after hurting Dirty Deeds, thanks to Wrestling Inc. Reader at Fletch Bones, also on Twitter. Mojo Rawley indicated on tonight's also Talking Smack, last night's Talking Smack, that he will be tweaking his character a bit as he pursues his singles career. Mojo said that there will be less joking, less dancing, and will be getting rid of his Zubaz gear. And also seeing on 205 tonight, last night, Alicia Fox interfered during Alexander's match with Noam Dar, costing Alexander the match during the backstage segment. Alexander broke things off with Fox by saying, me and you are done. As Alexander told Fox, you can take that pervert, Noam Dar, slap him around all you want. And that concludes my results and spoilers for Main Event and SmackDown Live. Thanks again. Peace out. See you on one more. If you don't know, just call me, brothers and sisters.